For the second week in a row, a brutal winter storm is pummeling the United States, leaving destruction in its wake.
The U.S. High Court is set to hear arguments for and against Biden's student loan forgiveness plan, what that could mean for borrowers coming up.
And the FDA approved a new at-home illness test, the first of its kind.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining ntTV News at Noon. I'm Armando Barrett.
And I'm Sydney Jolivet. A winter storm is once again wreaking havoc on the United States, leaving behind 6 feet of snow in Southern California and burning hurricane-force winds to Texas and the rest of the Midwest. Just last night, a powerful tornado ripped through Norman, Oklahoma, injuring at least a dozen people. CNN Ed Lavandera has more.
A massive storm system barreled through the Central Plains Sunday night.
So traditionally, the Southern Plains, Tornado Alley, if you will, doesn't really start to come alive with these tornadoes and these severe weather outbreaks until maybe March, especially April and May. That's the peak tornado severe season here in the Southern Plains. But so this is quite an early wake-up call.
Multiple tornadoes touched down in the region as well. In Norman, Oklahoma, a tornado caused down power lines and road closures.
This is terrible to have this tornado going through Norman like this. It's just past 48th and Lindsay, moving up to the northeast, and we're going to try to get back on I-40 and get out ahead of it again. We're going as fast as we can. That is not good right there on the west side of Thunderbird, guys. Oh, it's getting even stronger.
The storm ripped roofs off homes and damaged cars.
A lot of real strong wind. I was standing out in the garage. My wife went to the neighbors to get in a shelter. Wood and debris started flying and hitting things, so I jumped in the back seat of a car in the garage real quick.
2 tornadoes were reported in Kansas on Sunday, leaving homes in the area destroyed. Winds in the triple digits were felt, the highest in Memphis, Texas, where winds hit a staggering 114 miles per hour, the equivalent of a Category 3 hurricane. In Lubbock, Texas, a dust storm rolled through, leaving visibility in the area to less than a mile. And in Albuquerque, New Mexico, winds topped over 70 miles per hour, leaving overturned trees and businesses damaged.
I'm in shock, but because we love our restaurant, we love our work.
This amount of damage with this wind, I haven't seen anything like this for the 20 plus years that I've been living here.
This storm system started in California, where parts of Southern California saw a rare storm that dumped massive amounts of snow in the area. Huge snow totals were seen throughout the region, including Mountain High, which recorded 93 inches of snow through Sunday morning. Rain was dumped on other parts of California, causing flooding and leaving cars stranded. California firefighters were seen rescuing this driver by helicopter as floodwaters continued to rise. The storm left the ground so eroded that this RV fell into the Valencia River.
I'm just kind of afraid we're going to have to evacuate if it gets any worse.
Well, hey guys, I heard you over here talking about the weather. What's going on right now?
Yeah, Peter, I want to go outside, enjoy the springtime, but I can't go outside without even having a jacket on, it doesn't make sense.
I'm so confused. One day I have on shorts and the next day I have on a full coat. Please help me out here.
I know, it's been a little bit all over the place. Recently there's been a bunch of erratic weather. It feels like we've got lots of clouds, high winds, and then an April's worth of rain out of nowhere. But if you think 30-mile-an-hour enough wind and enough water to create a marsh has been bad here in Denton, wait till you hear about what Lubbock has been facing. Lubbock is right in the Texas High Plains, and they've been faced with winds up to 70 miles an hour. That has made the region an arid breeding ground for dust storms starting on Sunday and continuing today. Locals have been alerted to the very real danger of wildfires starting due to the intense dryness, but so far, thankfully, none have been reported. These conditions are usually common in the region, however, they don't normally begin until mid-March. So while locals are generally prepared for these storms, the ups and downs of the weather this past month have caught them a bit off guard. But let's not let ourselves get caught off guard here in Denton. Here's your first look at the weather. And as we can see, it's 66 degrees outside. It does feel just a little bit cooler. It feels like 63. That's due to our 18-mile-an-hour winds. They're going to calm down a little bit as the day goes. It's going to get a little bit slower winds. It's not going to feel quite so cold when we go outside without our jackets. But and then looking at tonight, we'll see that it's going to get down to 49. It's going to feel like 49. Again, the winds are slowing down, so there'll be a bit of a stillness in that. And then tomorrow, we'll see that it's going to get all the way up to 79. It will feel like 80. No wind really to keep it cool, so it will start to feel its heat. We're warming back up, but it's going to get cold again this weekend, but I'll get more into that later. Back to you guys at the desk.
Yesterday, the Dallas police arrested 8 people after receiving multiple complaints about an illegal street racing operation in Dallas. ntTV's Charles Ware has more on the story. Charles?
That's right. The arrest all happened Sunday after the DPD received complaints from Dallas residents for months. According to the police, the street races took place on the Texpress lanes on Interstate 635. 8 people on motorcycles were taken into custody off I-635 near Luna Road. Dallas police said its street racing task force received help from the Farmers Branch Police Department during the investigation that led to these arrests. In an update released Sunday evening, police say that 6 people were arrested for racing on the highway. 1 was arrested on a warrant for obstructing the highway, and the 8th was taken into custody for watching a street race. Governor Greg Abbott announced a statewide task force to target street races last week, with hopes of quickly prosecuting those involved. That is all the details that have been released on these arrests. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Charles. Early Monday morning, SpaceX and NASA called off a scheduled launch to the International Space Station just 2 minutes before takeoff. Officials say the launch was called off due to a mechanical issue linked to the ignition fluid. The next opportunity for a launch is on Tuesday at 1:22 a.m. Eastern Time. The 2 NASA astronauts, a Russian cosmonaut, and an astronaut from the United Arab Emirates are scheduled to depart for a 6-month-long mission aboard the ISS. While on the ISS, the Crew 16 will perform scientific experiments and maintain the 2-decade-old spacecraft. This will be the 7th astronaut flight SpaceX has done for NASA over the past 3 years.
Before this month comes to an end, we wanted to highlight Black history at the University of North Texas. This past Friday, I was able to lace up my skates and have a good time with the Black Student Union's Roll Bounce Skate Night. Here's the story. To Black History, where we reflect on the history, culture, and achievements of African Americans. While there are many student orgs on campus that primarily highlight the Black culture, the Black Student Union takes the cake by hosting a week-long of events to showcase Black talent and remind students why Black history is American history. The range of events could not spotlight our cultures better, from a night of painting, to fashion and talent shows, to guest speakers, and to my personal favorite, the Roll Bounce event. At this event, I was able to speak with program coordinator Sean Simpson, who helped put the Roll Bounce event together.
So the opportunity that we had this month, like this year, to do big for Black History Month, that seemed like that was very big and important for us.
Yeah.
Something that we can just showcase our talents, our skills. Like this is why we're here.
Having that on campus to show that we're actually being represented in some type of part of our culture is very important because skating is a part of Black culture.
Skating has been a part of Black history since the 70s, starting with Bill Butler, who became known as the godfather of roller disco.
Growing up, my mom used to take me and my brother skating in her whole neighborhood, so it's kind of makes me feel like a little kid again being here.
Because sometimes in one of the classes, you're the only Black student or one of the only Black students, so outside of the classroom is really the only element where Black students feel connected or united.
I think this event was truly impactful and allowed students to embrace their Black history on the skate floor. I couldn't leave without joining in on the fun. For ntTV News at Noon, I'm Cindy Jalabert.
There's new action in Ohio ordered by President Biden, but for some, it's still not enough.
And the National Geographic Photo of the Year is here. We'll take a look today.
College students, you're going to want to hear this one. The Supreme Court will listen to 2 cases arguing for and against President Biden's student loan forgiveness program on Tuesday. If Biden's plan goes into effect, it would cancel up to $20,000 of student debt for each borrower that qualifies. What stopped the program so far are 6 Republican-led states who say they would be financially harmed by this program and argue the government does not have the power to cancel loan debt, while the Biden administration claims that a 2003 law gives them that ability. A ruling is most likely to be released in late June or early July.
Are you not feeling well? If you're unsure whether it's the flu or COVID, there is a new way to find out. The Food and Drug Administration approved an at-home test that will check for both COVID-19 and influenza. The test will provide 88 to 100% accuracy on positive and negative results. The product was made by Lucira Health, a California biotech company. This technology hit stores as 235,000 new cases were detected this week. I am so confused. It's sunny, rainy, windy. I have no idea what to wear.
Yes, Sid. I feel you. I want to know, what are we going to expect for the rest of the week? Let's check in with our weather anchor, Peter Rabel. Peter?
Thanks so much, guys. So yeah, as we look at our weather up this next week, I just want you to look at the region that we're in right now. First off, it's 67 and 68 nearly everywhere, 66 in Denton, but everything in the DFW area is feeling about the same right now. That's just because we're all pretty close knit together. So, but if we look at our region as a whole, we'll see that there's a little bit more variation around. We've got 56, I think, in Amarillo. No, not quite. So it's 68, I believe, in Oklahoma City. I don't really remember there we go, cool. 67 in Oklahoma City, 58 in Amarillo, 56 in El Paso. So over in the west, it feels a little bit colder than it does here in DFW. But in the south, in Austin, it feels 76, 77 in Houston, 72 in Shreveport. And then if we look at our 7-day forecast, we're going to see that another one of these winter snaps is coming our way this weekend. We've got 79 tomorrow, but after that it's going to start getting cold. We'll have another weekend cold front. It'll be about 73 on Wednesday, 72 on Thursday, 56 on Friday. That'll be our lowest day. On Saturday, it's going to start getting warmer again, so we don't have to worry about that too much. Do want to look ahead. On Thursday night, there's a pretty high chance of rain. That'll go in through midnight and then into Friday, just in the bright hours of the morning. So make sure you have your rain jacket with you or something like that. But that rain will clear up by the time day breaks, so you won't have to worry about it once the sun is up. Back to you guys at the desk.
Concerns continue to create restlessness in residents of East Palestine, Ohio. In the aftermath of the toxic train derailment almost 4 weeks ago, President Joe Biden has ordered a federal response to the crash site, including health surveys in the area to assist those still recovering. From CNN, Isabel Rosales has the story.
The cleanup and removal of contaminated soil continues from the site of the train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio from February 3rd. The U.S. Environmental Agency is assuring residents that all the toxic waste will be disposed of in a, quote, safe and lawful manner at EPA-certified facilities.
One thing that's been made clear to me is that everyone wants this contamination gone from the community. They don't want the worry, and they don't want the smell.
A White House official says members of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, EPA, and the CDC began distributing informational flyers and conducting health surveys over the weekend. According to the official, their goal is to reach 400 homes by Monday.
What we need to come to grips with is the idea that more safety metrics, more rules and regulations, and perhaps some laws, and need to be passed quickly.
Last week, the National Transportation Safety Board released its preliminary report on the investigation. It concluded that the wreck was 100% preventable. Meanwhile, President Joe Biden currently has no plans to visit Ohio. On Friday, he defended his administration's response to the crisis.
I had a long meeting with my team and what they're doing. You know, we were there 2 hours after the train went down, 2 hours. And so the idea that we're not engaged is just simply not there.
The EPA is scheduled to hold its next public meeting for residents on March 2nd. I'm Isabel Rosales reporting.
When we come back, we'll introduce you to the new 270-pound addition to the Fort Worth family.
And we'll explore the stories behind the art on display at the new UNT at Frisco campus.
And now we return to Fabric of Passion.
Oh, Hector, it will be so hard for us to part, but we must.
But, my love, what did I do? I thought we were meant to be together forever.
I am so disheartened to say that you're just not in style anymore. But you will be, to someone else, in a better place.
You're gonna shred me?
No.
I'm donating you to one of the many clothing donation boxes available on campus. There is one in the Union by the Syndicate and one on Union Circle Drive.
Oh, well, why didn't you just say so? I'm gonna be someone's new shirt.
I thought you'd be more distressed.
Oh, absolutely not. It was cramped in your closet anyways.
Maybe you would like to be shredded after all.
Can I see your voter registration, please? All right, you're good. No registration, no entry. All right. Let me see your voter registration card, please.
I'm not registered to vote.
No registration, no entry.
Dude, my friends are already in there.
No registration, no entry.
What the?
Join the club. Register to vote today.
The National Geographic Photo of the Year contest is treating us to another beautiful year of wildlife photos. They just revealed their grand winner, and although 2022 was competitive, only one photo was crowned Picture of the Year. Jeremy Roth has more.
Take a look at this stunning set of wildlife photographs that National Geographic have crowned 2022's Best of the Best. Photographers the world over submitted works to Nat Geo's Pictures of the Year contest, and the slate of finalists is a medley of amazing landscapes, such as this aerial and seemingly arterial look at a branching California marshland, peeks at Mother Nature at her most serene and most extreme, and revealing looks at both human and animal civilizations and where they impressively and inexplicably intersect. But the overall grand prize winner was an incredible mid-flight moment, capturing a convocation of majestic bald eagles jockeying for prime perch position near an Alaskan shoreline. You can view the full suite of finalists and other submissions by visiting natgeo.com/photocontestwinner. Speaking of artistic statements, is that what this weird giant iron ball found on a Japanese beach is? That was likely one of the many questions on onlookers' minds after the mysterious metal sphere inexplicably washed ashore near Hamamatsu City. Other questions likely included, where did it come from? Is there something inside it? And will it blow up? Well, after examining the object, officials confirmed that the bizarre ball is hollow and doesn't pose a threat, but still couldn't pin down exactly what it is or where it came from. The heavy metal mystery continues. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Hey, how about that? Enjoying nature through the lens and the images. It's nice to see the animals and nature together.
Truly a sight to see. Speaking of, let's take a look at the images of this local baby animal who is making their debut. Elizabeth Moreno has all the details on this week's edition of Positively North Texas.
Thank you, guys. It's all cheers and smiles at the Fort Worth Zoo. The birth of its newest family member, an elephant calf, was born at 2 a.m. on Thursday, February 23rd. His name has not been released yet, but the 37-inch tall, 270-pound baby boy is the 5th calf born at the Fort Worth Zoo, following his half-brother Brazo's birth in 2021. Baby calves also adds to the 3 generations of elephants at the Fort Worth Zoo, which the Fort Worth Zoo says mimics how herds are established in the wild. For the time being, the animal care team is focused on the calves bonding with his mama Belle, the rest of his family members, and its habitat. This indicating that the public is not able to meet him for the time being. However, Fort Worth Zoo encourages you to keep an eye out for their social platforms for any updates. Thank you for joining us for this week's Positively North Texas. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Elizabeth. The newest addition to the UNT at Frisco campus is finally open, and hanging from its ceiling is a beautiful piece of art with a story to tell. ntTV's Gabby Carden got a chance to speak with the artist last week. Let's take a look.
To the UNT family. The spring 2023 semester is a first for Frisco Landing, giving opportunities to students like Archie Kakare that they never would have predicted.
The entire class had a meeting with the architects and the contractors and the designers of this building. And one of the things they emphasized on was acknowledging the native land that this is built on. And so that was my inspiration for this. And it's also the mascot of UNT. It's not the eagle feather, but it's the eagle.
After he settled on a unique design among many other students, his was selected. Now it was time to make his vision come to life.
We went with aluminum because it's really easy to work with. You can just bend it by hand. It's really lightweight, very user-friendly. I was working with 23 Design Co., which is a sculpture fabrication company. They were the ones who helped me figure this thing out because they have a lot of experience working with aluminum specifically. This is my first aluminum sculpture as well, so I had no idea what I was getting into.
Despite the challenges, Archit's hanging sculpture design was a success and is now on display for both new and returning Eagles in Frisco, with one message in mind.
Sort of like a sense of inclusion, and they're all sort of nice and comfy and together, and I wanted to convey that sense of togetherness.
In Frisco for ntTV News, I'm Gabby Carden.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Sydney, while everyone was out at that art installation, I was in my room glued to the TV watching those NBA games.
I was not. Let's hear what our sports anchor Lillian Kosh has to say. Lillian?
Oh yes, a lot went down this weekend with the DFW sports, from setting records to baseball blowouts. I'll have it all for you after the break.
Has the weight of stress and anxiety ever felt too heavy to overcome? Wish there was a safe place to confide in? Wish granted. At UNT, we offer counseling and testing services to students located on the 3rd floor of Chestnut Hall. UNT, we're here for you.
So a man's been walking in the desert for days at a time. He finally comes across a bar and orders a Coke.
That's not funny.
Eh? Eh?
from UNT. It's Wheel of Culture.
Welcome back to Wheel of Culture. Our contestant is so close to solving this puzzle. But first, it's time to give the wheel a spin. Wow, you landed on London, one of the many places where you and your fellow students can go on a chance to experience new culture. But only if you can solve this puzzle.
I'd like to solve the puzzle. Study abroad.
That's correct. You just won yourself a trip to study abroad in London, England, and you can too. Just go to studyabroad.unt.edu to see deadlines and apply for scholarships. Get ready to study abroad.
I don't know about you, but I was expecting the Mavericks to come out on top by the end of this season. Kyrie Irving trading to Dallas was supposed to be heaven sent. Luka and Kyrie sounds like the dream team. But last night, the Mavs broke a record for the worst. They took on the Lakers and suffered a loss 111-108. Our defense was not able to handle the heat from Anthony Davis and LeBron James, and our offense couldn't put the points back up on the board to come out on top. This has made the Dallas Mavericks the first team in the NBA to lose after having a 27-point lead. This just keeps fans questioning if the trade was a right choice for the team. But in better news for the DFW sports world, NBA spring training is finally in full effect with the Texas Rangers securing their first win against the Cleveland Guardians yesterday. And unlike the Mavs, the Rangers were stacking up runs like nobody's business. The very first play of the game truly set the tone for the Rangers, with Corey Seager making his way to third base after errors on the Guardians' defense. And I guess the saying everything's bigger in Texas applies to baseball too, because by the end of the night, Texas won 13-4. Now, I may be an Astros fan, but anytime Texas wins is a win in my book. And now, if you're just burnt out from sitting on the couch watching ESPN like Armando, check out UNT Outdoor Pursuits teaming up with UNT Pride, hosting Queer Climb at the Rec Center at 7:30. Students are welcome to come in and out for snacks and drinks and spend time climbing this 45-foot rock wall. And like I said, everyone is welcome, even if you don't have any prior climbing experience. Now, I know you have to wait 30 minutes before swimming. Do you have to wait before climbing? Well, I guess we'll find out tomorrow. That's all I have for sports today. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Lillian, and thank you for watching ntTV News at noon.
Join us again tonight at 6 and tomorrow at noon here on North Texas Television.